Everyone wants to know. We are getting questions in from our viewers, people wondering, where is Gabby Petito's fiance, Brian Laundrie? And what do his parents know about his whereabouts? They were spotted earlier today leaving their home in a red pickup truck. They were on their way to pick up this car. So a Mustang, there it is, that police hauled away earlier this week. So far, they've remained silent about their son's whereabouts. Meantime, check out what their neighbors told Fox News about their activities on the day that Gabby was reported missing on September 11th.
I noticed that they got a new camper for the back of the pickup. I saw them loading it up, and so I assumed they were preparing for, a camping trip. The parents going on a trip, I can see that, but taking their 23-year-old son in a small camper that's on the back of the truck struck us as odd.
Wow. So there are all sorts of theories about when and where Brian took off and went to. One of those theories is from John Walsh. Here's what he said on CNN.
This family did not help at all. And it's this girl lived with them. This lawyer, this wonderful lawyer, called the cops on Friday and said, "We're doing the right thing. We're going to tell you that Brian went to that reserve." You know what it was? It was a red herring. They bought Brian 4 more days to get away. They bought him 4 more days to run. It's disgusting. Some point, this family, this mother and father, have to realize that somebody's beautiful daughter was murdered by their horrible sociopathic son.
Strong words. For more on this, we are joined by child advocate for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, as well as the co-host of In Pursuit with John Walsh on ID, Callahan Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. So we just heard what your father thinks. Do you agree? Did Brian's parents give him a head start, in your opinion?
I share the same opinion as my father. Maybe no surprise there. But the parents absolutely bought this guy time. Now with the neighbors coming forward with an alternate timeline from what they witnessed, seeing this mini camper being packed up and leaving for the weekend, even saying how strange it is that a 23-year-old male would be camping with their parents in such a small camper. We know the parents are lying about the timeline. They're buying him time. They're providing him resources, and I think it's all the more reason that we need to really not trust the Laundrie family when it comes to where Brian is.
So Callahan, a lot of people are speculating where Brian is and if he's even alive, or will he be found alive? What are your thoughts on this?
I think he will be found alive. I think this guy's too narcissistic to kill himself. I think he's going to go out. I think law enforcement's going to find him, but I think it's the public that's going to do that. I think it's the public that's going to provide law enforcement the tip. We're searching for that key that unlocks the door to justice. I know somebody out there is going to spot Brian, they're going to do the right thing, and they're going to call law enforcement. And the public is oftentimes law enforcement's most powerful tool. That's the tool we harness on In Pursuit with John Walsh. We profile these guys, but it's the public that gives us that information. They're the reason these guys are taken off the streets.
Callahan, this couldn't lead into my question better. There's been a ton of internet sleuths and witnesses from the public that have come forward trying to help in this case. A lot of YouTubers and a lot of people with cameras. Do you think personally this is too much involvement from the public? Do you think it helps or hurts? I thought this would be a great help. I wonder what your take is.
The internet sleuths, the armchair detectives, they've had a rocky history, right?
Yeah, right.
But I think time and time again, now with the internet, they're proving their worth. They really are coming up with some incredible evidence that law enforcement probably would have never found if it wasn't for the public. Now, law enforcement, they're limited, right? They have a set amount of resources, only a number of people to work with. The public, they're putting in those extra hours. They're burning the midnight oil for law enforcement and finding these tips and this interesting information that law enforcement may not have been able to find without this help. And it really is incredible what the internet's been able to do. I really salute anybody out there that's putting time and attention on Gabby's case and helping us solve it.
Does that change your mind now? Because when we've had conversations, you almost felt like the internet would hurt.
Well, I just think that there's no, if the police go after somebody and they are wrong in who they convict, or they damage somebody's life or their house, somebody can be held accountable. If the internet does that, it's harder to hold people accountable. So I'm back and forth because I did see the Golden State Killer series, and I was really impressed by that. So I do think there is some worth from that. Let me ask you this quick question, Callahan. You said that the police have limited resources. I don't understand why, as soon as she was found missing, their son was the last person that she was seen with. Why didn't they immediately put eyes on the parents' house? You wouldn't one assume that he would go back there to kind of re-up and reestablish himself?
You know, I share that same question. You know, why didn't they have an unmarked car outside the house? Why weren't they watching who was going in and out of that household? Weren't they surveilling it? I don't have the answers to that question. You know, look, hindsight's always 20/20. We can say everything they should have done, but that's easy. That's something that they absolutely should have done from the very beginning.
That's something Ice-T would have done.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, Callahan, really quickly before we go, we only have about 30 seconds. Gabby's best friend, Rose, has spoken out saying that she knows that Brian Laundrie can survive in the wild because he went on this Appalachian Trail trip for 3 months on his own without any help and called him a survivalist. What is your take on that?
She's absolutely right. I mean, this guy knows how to live modestly. They were doing the hashtag van life for 4 years. He knows how to operate on a small budget. He knows how to live out in the wilderness. And they were gurus on social media. He's very tech savvy as well, too. This is the perfect storm for a guy to be on the run. That's why it's so difficult to track this guy down.
Wow. Thank you so much, Callahan Walsh, for your take. We appreciate it. You can see more of Callahan on Season 3 of In Pursuit with John Walsh, Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on ID and streaming on Discovery Plus. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Callahan.